Hey, everybody. We're here from Tickingtimebob Gaming. We have with us the Cat's Meow, Mark, and Cyberbro, who will be GMing for us tonight. We are doing a 3-session split of Daggerheart here on Tickingtimebob Gaming. We're starting with Cyberbro as a GM. Mark will be the GM the second session, and I'll be closing with the third session. And with that, we're going to hand over the reins for the rest of the command now to Cyberbro, our GM.
All right, so we're going to start with some introductions, but not personal introductions. We're going to do character introductions. Let's start with Mark. Mark, would you like to introduce your character for the group?
Hello, I'm Mark, aka the Catch Me Out, and today I will be playing Percival, my Qatari rogue. Qatari being the cat people of this world. In fact, I have some art of my character I'd like to show the audience.
Oh, joy. Art.
There we go. Here is Percival.
It looks so real.
Just him right here.
Ah,
I know, it's very lifelike. This is Percival being played by my cat Dragon, and this is what he looks like. Oh, he is not.
Your cat dragon or
cat
your
looks like
dragon cat? That's the
My
question.
dragon cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me and who I'm playing. I'm excited to play the rogue of the group. Like my little troublemaker here.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right, Bob, you're up next.
Hi, everybody. I'll be playing Maximilian. Maximilian is a highborn Aetheris bard. He's a wordsmith specifically.
Nice. And so, can you describe what the Highborns are? Aetheris, rather, what an Aetheris is for the group?
I can certainly try. I imagine what would be a good analogy to them, like an Aasimar, maybe perhaps a Kale from League of Legends, somewhere in there. I don't remember if they actually describe them as being winged, but they certainly can fly. They do have that ability. And they're just kind of more regal and charismatic is sort of the vibe I get.
Yeah, I feel this. I feel the same way. Yeah, definitely. Okay, and then Cyberbro here. I'll be playing everyone else to include the character I made for this series of streams, Roy Three Eyes. Roy is a three-eyed Ridgeborn giant brawler. So just a big dude with three eyes, big dude, three eyes. Okay, let's enter the world. So your group has got a job, relatively simple one. You have a crate that your giant pal is dragging, and you need to take it from one city to the next. The first city on your trip where the new verdant forest meets the sea to sea is the city of Springport. Despite the name, it's quite snowy. The city of Springport has been in a perpetual winter for the past 2 generations. Let's find out why. You're about a quarter day's march from the city, and your group has linked up with a convoy of other travelers, of a diverse cast, and you're making your way, hopefully downtown.
Indeed. What kind of our layout, our convoy? How big is it? How many people we got in this convoy of our own? Not the one we linked with, but like our own people's.
You kind of went in and out there, Bob. You just want to know how many people are with you, your specific group?
Yeah, I'll try and fix my mic there real quick. Just curious how many specifically with our, like in our convoy, not the groups we attached to, but our convoy. Like how many is that roughly?
Okay. So your convoy specifically, you've got about 2 other individuals, a dwarf and 2 humans. Excuse me, 3 others. So you're in a really small group. It seemed like you wanted to travel light with just enough guards and individuals with you to support you should you, I don't know, find scorpions out here in the forest.
Scorpions. And he's looking around, paranoid.
Yes. And they lurk everywhere. Behind every tree is a scorpion. That's the way the old saying goes. But yes, you're about a quarter day's walk there. You're well rested. You've eaten. It's a bit cold, but let's say you have the appropriate amount of furs, homegrown or purchased.
And mostly fur.
Mostly fur. Lousy with fur. You are all lousy with fur. So yeah, what do you all want to do? You're making your way to the city.
Let Mark go first.
All right. Well, Percival himself is kind of taking a cat nap on one of the caravans, kind of lounging around despite the cold, seemingly used to this kind of intense weather. He also doesn't seem to be putting much work into his work.
Okay. Would you say that the one of the carts, or rather the caravans there with you, are you close to the group? Relatively
I'd say
close,
so.
maybe one away? Okay, good to go.
I think that'll work.
All right. Yes. So Maximilian, I would assume that you're kind of leading the charge for your part of the convoy there. Percival is God knows where, quite lazy.
Yeah, I think Maximilian, in complete contrast, he's got a clipboard in front of him, and he's like going over the clipboard, all the details, studying it, making sure everything's in order, kind of spastically, just making sure, lots of energy. All right, we got this. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And then just keeping an eye on all the detail, making sure that everything's going as smoothly as it can forward, that we haven't forgotten anything, because you don't want to forget anything. That would be awful. The worst, actually.
Very true. Very true. Let's say your dwarf hireling, we'll call him a hireling. Your dwarf hireling is right there to the right of you. He lost a bet last night, and so he's having to walk next to you. I think you'd be aware of that as he would have said this. We're going to call him Lars, beardless Lars. He is strangely a dwarf without a beard.
Odd, but it would be impolite to raise such things. So, of course, Maximilian will not do so.
Yes, quite impolite. So he does the normal dwarfy things. He rubs his chin where his beard would be. Just I, and to all of your questions, his response is I.
And do you have plans once we reach our destination? Or do you plan to look for more work?
I'm going to drink, and then I'll sleep, and then I'll drink again. And if I'm lucky, I'll drink after that.
And he's got his priorities.
Very good.
Fair.
Very good.
If not for his lack of a beard, he'd be the dwarfiest dwarf you've ever met. A dwarf's dwarf, if you will.
I think Maximilian would continue to keep up small talk, which looks probably mostly like a one-sided conversation.
Yeah. In fact, let's see. We're going to get our first roll of the night. Let's do presence, all right? We're trying to see if your small talk pisses him off or promotes him to actually, kind of engage with you. So we'll do presence.
All right. Got my 2 dice here. Let's see where this goes.
For the viewers at home, you're probably wondering, why is he rolling 2 dice? One of his dice, well, both dice are D12s. One die represents hope and one die represents fear. All right. What did you get there, Bob?
I got a 7 on the hope die and a 5 on the fear die.
Okay. So you have a 7 and 5. Do you have any pluses to your presence?
Yes, I have +2 in presence.
A +2 in presence. So a 14 total, but it's a 14 hope because you had higher on the hope die. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes. So that is a success. I was looking for somewhere in the range of greater than 10. He's a dwarf, but he's not an agreeable fellow. So that is a success with hope. you know what? Since that's the first roll and you've got it, we're going to give you a point of hope. So on your character sheet, you'll see a counter there, and you just click the plus, and you'll get hope. So you just get one hope.
Just looking where to add it, but I'll figure it out.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, you have fruitful conversation with the dwarf, and he informs you that unfortunately he is the recipient of a curse. He was cursed by a spider witch some time ago, and all of his hair fell out.
Well, that's terrible. Do you know if there is a means of cure?
Yes, I quest for a chalice. Have you heard of this? The Chalice of Rogaine.
A chalice of... No, I don't think I have.
Probably not as specific lore. If you really want to help the dwarf out, you can roll knowledge.
Why not? Why not? Why not give it a try here? That is a 16, but a fear die, I rolled a 12.
Oh, okay. So this is a success with fear. You get what you want on a success with fear, but you gain a complication. So let's say you know of this specific lore. You know about it. However, it's just simple dwarf fairy tales. They are people who live under the earth, away from the stars. So that's your opinion of it. And I'm going to say maybe in your own words, how do you express that? Letting him know you think very lowly of his quest.
One thing about Maximilian is he is incredibly polite. That's like his number one goal in interactions. So I think that he stumbles with it here a bit. And he's like, the only time I've heard that tale is from the people that hide in underneath the earth, and those silly tales. Not silly, I mean quite reasonable, actually. Noble people that would believe such tales.
Noble, you say? He rubs his beardless chin. Silly. He raises an eyebrow at you, or what you would assume to be an eyebrow, but he is quite hairless.
Yes, where is that? We need the rope. Where is the rope? He's going to try and create a reason not to spend any more conversation with his dwarf now that he's full pod.
I think you look over and you see Percival is currently sleeping on top of the rope.
He's kind. He's polite to everyone but Percival. Percival and him constantly like roommates butt heads. So he just grabs the rope and just tries to pull it out from underneath Percival.
There's the sound of a cat screech as he's pulled and shaken out, and he goes, "Oh,
Well, here's a
God."
question. I've got a question for you, Mark. Let's get a finesse roll to see if he kind of knocks you off the cart, or if you're able to keep your balance. Maybe you'll get a critical and you'll be really cool.
Maybe. So this is a finesse roll +2. May I use my cat-like reflexes expertise?
Yes, you may. And that gets us onto another subject. So each character, once you begin at level 1, you have expertise. These are +2s for something that's happened in the past, or a trait intrinsic to your character. In the case of Roy Three Eyes, one is heavy hands. He's a giant, so he's got heavy hands. And it's all about how you use your expertise. Obviously, you can't use it for every situation, but if you're smart, it may come in handy.
So this is a +4 to this roll. That is an 8 on hope.
Okay.
Plus
What's the oh yep.
+4, so that's a 12.
Okay. A 12. No problem. Like reflexes, very simple. You success that's a success with hope. Easy day. So you fall off of the cart, but you're able to get your footing and you land right on your feet.
Oh, What was that for?
Could you not sleep on the supplies, please? There's plenty of things to sleep on that aren't in the way.
But they're comfy. Never let me have any fun.
I think he'd take the rope and then he needs to make some excuse for this. So he's going to go find Roy.
What was that last part?
Yeah, he's going to find Roy. He's looking for Roy. Roy Three Eyes? Is that what his name was? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Roy Three Eyes. So Roy's not a hard person to find. Covered in snow, as if a mountain was moving directly behind you, is in fact Roy Three Eyes, dragging with the other assigned rope to your group, dragging the crate behind you all.
Roy, could you assist me with this rope here? I just need to tie something down.
No problem, he says as he stops to assist you. What needs to be tied down?
And I think Maximilian's been spending a great deal of time sort of looking over things, trying to make them perfect. And there's like one area that only has 2 ropes, not 3. And that isn't really work safe, like it's
Right.
not where it could be. We need to bring those standards up.
Exactly. The OSHA Guild will have your head if they saw something like that.
Indeed. So that'll be
Okay.
the goal.
That'll be the goal. Let's see. We'll do finesse. We'll do a finesse roll for you, but you do have assistance. So we'll give you advantage, if I'm not mistaken. When you have someone helping, you get advantage in this system. So you do have Roy Three Eyes there helping you. So
All right. How does advantage work? Is it rolling the 2 dice twice and taking the better outcome?
yes, if I'm not mistaken, yes. Mark, am I correct in this?
Sounds right.
All right. Well, let's just confirm. It's my first time playing.
It's all of our first time playing. You're all good.
Oh, it's an extra D6.
An extra D6. Okay.
All right. And that just gets applied to the total. It doesn't affect the other 2, I take it, like the hope and fear. It's more like a...
Essentially, it applies to the hope roll, and disadvantage, I believe, applies to the fear roll.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, great news. I got a 12 on the hope die and a 2 on top of that. My fear die is an 8. So that's a pretty high roll. 22. 22 with hope.
Okay, 22 with hope. You get exactly what you want. So you tie down this part of the caravan. You tie down your cart very well. All right. You were looking for it to be very precise. You hold yourself to a high standard, and you do that. In fact, a few of the humans behind you, the other guards, not nondescript individuals, not the type of men that you would make a bust of or anything like that. They're slightly nodding. They see you actually taking the job seriously, and that kind of promotes them to like straighten their uniforms and their gear up a little bit.
Very good. Good day. Good day. And he says he's walking by everybody. Kind of almost obnoxiously polite would be a good way to describe it. So,
Obnoxiously polite. Those are always the best managers. No problem. So you're nearing the city. A bit of time has passed, and the gates, the great spring gates, are in front of you. There are reliefs of flowers. Oh, sorry. Please continue.
Oh, so it's like correction. Advantage, you add a D6 to your total. Disadvantage, you subtract a D6 from your total. Anyway, go ahead.
I see. Okay. Easy day. Before you are the great spring gates. Reliefs of vines, flowers, various fruiting plants are on it. It is a cornucopia of all the things that an artist would say, hey, this describes life. which is kind of out of place because you are, for lack of a better phrase, in a frigid hellscape. So there are a few guards in front of you. They're dealing with the convoy, parts of your convoy that's going in first. They are checking papers going in. There is one minor complication. If you look in your bag, your satchel, I would assume a satchel, Maximilian. I would assume you have a satchel. If you
Makes
look in your
sense.
satchel, you don't have papers.
Did I have papers?
I don't know. Did you? Let's get knowledge. Let's get a knowledge roll to recall.
Okay. Might I suggest, or might I utilize, I have Navigator as one of my experiences?
How would your experience as a navigator benefit you in this sense?
Just being used to being on the road and knowing what the details of things are. Not necessarily recalling, but just usually being prepared, like being the person that knows how to travel, so they always have their passport and their paperwork ready.
Okay, no problem. Yep, let's get that rolled in.
All right. 17 with hope.
17 with hope. They're not in the satchel because you remember giving them to Percival.
Percival, he says kind of uncharacteristically.
Yeah, what is it, bastard?
We need the papers.
What papers?
We need the entry papers. Be permitted in. I gave them to you back in. Do you remember?
Do I remember?
Yep. Let's say you remember them being given to you because on Bob's roll, he did get a success with hope. So you remember getting the papers and you remember where you put them. Are you wearing shoes?
No, it doesn't wear shoes.
Doesn't wear shoes? All right. So let's say, because I was going to say they were in your shoes. Let's say they're in your back pocket. You absentmindedly just stuffed them back there, folded up and stuff back there. So if you check, you will find your official papers.
See? Why are you so worried? Everything tends to work out.
Right. He just kind of takes them from Percival. I think he sees Percival almost like a little brother, like annoying, like. So he's just like takes them kind of rudely from him, and he says, "Thank you." And then he's going to make his way up towards the front to speak their way into the city or negotiate their way in.
No worries. So your turn in the line comes up. Standing before you are two guards. One of them very short, nondescript individual. The other one quite large. He's not as big as your giant friend, but a big boy. He's a big boy. Plump, even.
I think we established this. Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
No, I was just making a joke. You go ahead.
I think we established this before when we talked about the relationship with Maximilian and your character, Cyberbro. So I'm thinking it's common that your character is called to be part of the negotiations where you stand tall and looks threatening just by existing, not far away. It's just a show of, we have muscle too. You know what I mean?
Right. You're looking up to him. He's looking up to Roy Three Eyes. That type of deal. Okay. Easy day. So the Weasley one, the smaller Weasley one, says, "Papers, please."
Of course, they are right here for you. This should cover our full convoy.
Right. I see. All right. You have the fee?
I always come prepared, of course. What is the fee again?
Before we establish that, Percival, you're there too, right? Okay, let's get an instinct roll from you. Let's just get a quick instinct roll. You're a rogue. You've been around a little bit. There are blocks. You've been around them.
Let's go. That is an 8 plus nothing with hope.
An 8 plus nothing with hope. Yeah, it looks legit.
Looks totally legit.
Yeah. The person was just standing there next to you, just nodding, like, yep, gotta pay the fee. Gotta pay the troll toll.
Well, then, kind of going through our purse to make sure we have enough.
Okay. No problem. Does anything on your character sheet indicate how much money that you have individually there, Maximilian?
I have one in handfuls of gold. That's what it says for my personal equipment. There's like a toggle that says handfuls, and there's a 1 right now.
Okay, cool. Yep. Easy day. You have a handful of gold. And so the Weasley guy puts his hand out. He points to his hand. Kind of like that painting there. He points to his hand, just like, okay, the fee, please.
Of course, here you are. I'll present it. Can I say it's in a bag, even though it's not a bag of gold? Just something that makes it easier than presenting it in a handful, like it's a handful of pennies.
Yep, we could say that. Just to confirm, now Percival has already nodded his head. Yeah, okay, this looks legit. Are you feeling it? Is there a twinge in you, Maximilian, that feels maybe you shouldn't be paying a handful of gold to go into the city? Is there a twinge, maybe?
I think so. He's pretty like a law-abiding person. So I think he'd be like, is this normal, I guess, would be the question. If this is fairly normal, he won't even press. But if this is not something he typically encounters when we do these caravan runs, I think he would inquire about what this toll is about.
So, depending on the city, right? Some cities are gilded and very nice. Other cities are full of squalor. They try to kind of trick you a little bit at the gate. They try to take more than what should normally be paid. A handful of gold, some depending on the city, is sometimes vastly over what the fee should be. If this was a really nice city, really great place, then yeah, maybe you'll pay a handful of gold to get into the more ritzier parts of the city. This is a backwater, snowy backwater, a frigid, snowy backwater. So you kind of get that feeling.
And just before he like has the money, and then I think maybe just before he hands it over, he stops and he's like, forgive me, could you enlighten me as to what the toll is paying for? And it seems to me that normally when one pays a toll, it's for a particular project or towards a goal, perhaps maintenance.
Very well, my good man. So generally, the fees pay for snow shoveling. We shovel the snow in the city because it's always snowing, right? So the way this works is you come to the gate, you give me what I tell you give me, and then we let you in. Does that make sense?
Yes, snow shoveling, of course. Well, he looks to Percival like, do you got any other ideas?
I think Percival's starting to go, snow shoveling. That's a bit weird. It's kind of starting to come to the same conclusion that his companion is. And he'd go, well, surely it would be much more valuable to have something that's far more valuable than gold. Something you could really use to pay for some proper shoveling.
We're like, what, Catman? Do you have diamonds? Because we'll take a handful of diamonds. Isn't that right, Bobo? Bobo, who I guess is his companion, is still looking up at Roy Three Eyes. Roy is staring off into the distance as he usually does, looking at a mountain or something. Yeah, pay attention, you oaf, he says to his buddy. Right. Yeah, they give us the gold there, boss. And then they get into the city. You told them that, right?
Well, how
The
about
little
something
Weasley
that's more
man.
precious than gold?
Like more gold? Is more gold an option?
He pulls out. This is the most priceless thing in existence. It is worth more than gold, more than handfuls upon handfuls of gold. And he pulls forth what is like a green rock. It's like a rock with a slightly green tint.
Oh. Let's, you know what? Let's get a presence roll there, Percival.
All right.
We're going to say that Roy is giving you advantage because Roy's standing behind you, just nodding like, yep, shiny green rock. Good.
All right. Can I use prankster towards this?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, let's do that.
Roll this. Ooh, that's an 11 on fear. And then a d6. Okay, so that is a 14, 15, 16, 17. 17
17 with fear.
on fear.
Yep. So a 17 with fear, and there, maybe the boss with, and so he kind of whispers. He whispers into the ear of the little Weasley guy. I will accept if you want to hear what he's saying. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I will accept instinct from an instinct ability roll from you guys if you want to hear what he's saying. But the big guy is whispering into the ear of the little guy.
Can I
Let's
just
give it a go.
can I ask a question real quick for Hope? Did we start with Hope? My sheet showed 2 to begin with, and then we
2. Yep.
yeah, and then when did we earn? Was it every time we rolled success with Hope we earned a Hope, and every time we rolled success with fear or failure with fear we would earn, like the Hope would go down, or how does that work?
So if you fail, if you get a failure with fear, the GM gets a fear, right? So that's failure with fear, the GM gets a fear. As far as hope, it's for specific things like the GM can give you hope if you do something courageous, or I gave you 1 hope because you did the first roll. So I'm like, okay, here's some hope. And it was successful. In the case of fear, failing a roll and having fear on top of that would give the GM a fear. Or if you decided to spend hope, if I'm not mistaken, that gives the GM fear too.
Okay, roger that. Rather than rolling myself, can I help Mark somehow with this roll?
Yes. You can give Mark advantage on
If-
hearing with his cat ears. How many ears do you have, Mark? Do you have just the set of cat ears, or do you have human ears and cat ears?
No, just cat ears.
Okay,
It's
just cat
that
ears.
thing
Okay.
where it's cat ears, but there's like fur covering this side, but if you'd shave it, there's nothing there. He
Ah,
just has cat ears on top of his head.
yeah. Never get shaved.
Yeah, he's a freak of
That's-
nature. He's a freak of nature. All right, let's go. Ooh, an 11 with fear. Plus nothing, plus a d6. Ooh, 6. So that is 17 again. With fear.
Okay, 17 with fear. So that's success with a complication. So you're hearing him. He's saying to his little buddy, maybe the boss would like to know if they've got the precious stone. You know, the boss is always looking for more stones and things. And before you can act to tell any of your companions that, hey, something fishy's going on, the little Weasley one speaks up. Yes, very well, my good man. Come right on in. Might I suggest the following tavern, Tervolt's Grasp. That's a nice tavern to stay at. Or potentially the Smiling Pig, if that's more your fancy.
Yes, good advice, sir. Much appreciated. Well, I suppose we should gather our things and go in.
Yep. Here's your
Yes.
precious stone.
Like before the big one can grab it, the little Weasley one just kind of snatches out your hand. It gives it to me. Give it. Yeah, she's holding up the line. Let's go.
As we're going in, I think Maximilian turns to Percival and says, "That works a lot better than your bracelets, Cam did."
Yeah. Let's just hope they don't figure out that it's a piece of gravel from the town over.
Yep. Your buddy behind you all pipes up. Yep, the old gravel trick. I've seen it before.
It's worked more often than I thought. Every time.
Yep, I traded a sandwich for gravel. And I'm a giant, so it's a big sandwich, you see.
That's right, Roy. Well then, do we have a preference for where to stay? He recommended the first place, but I didn't quite trust that little one. He mentioned
Yeah.
a second place. He didn't
Smiling
seem...
Pig sounds like a nice place.
Does it? Well, perhaps it's a joke name. Perhaps they serve boar. I agree, though. We should stay away from the first place suggested. I don't trust that man.
No, he was very suspicious, talking about his boss and stuff who likes collecting stones.
Indeed.
I mean, you like collecting stones and you're not suspicious.
Am I?
I don't think you're suspicious. I think you're my best pal. He kind of pets you a little bit.
Aw. Thanks, buddy.
Right. So the second place it is, perhaps.
We're off to the Smiling
Yes.
Pig.
Yes, Roy Three Eyes bellows to the Smiling Pig. And you're off. The streets of Springport do not fit the climate. Despite 2 generations passing of this Everwinter, the architecture does not speak to a people who have adjusted to constant winter. The people are dressed in furs, but many of the buildings look like they'd be better in a fairer or warmer climate. However, in every home has a chimney, and there is smoke bellowing out every home. Quite the place, to say.
I imagine very gray skies filled with smoke.
Yeah. Gray
Must be-
skies filled with smoke. Excuse me.
It must be difficult to see nothing but winter all the time.
Very. That's all the way up here. I'm seeing nothing but smoke as Roy rubs his 3 eyes.
Oh, yes, I bet the air is much worse up there. Sorry, big guy.
He grumbles a little bit.
I picture it's like completely, the smoke's going up, so we're good. And there's just smoke like right. He's like walking right through the lane of smoke.
Disappeared into it.
And yeah, just a Looney Tunes amount of smoke just up there, and you can really only see from his chest down. But yes, so you make your way to the Smiling Pig. As the name says, there's a large sign, and there's a pig on it with a very toothy grin, as if the pig just got veneers. Just smiling.
Can I tell from the outside, does this look like a hovel or does it look decent?
Just looking at it, it's kind of middle of the road. It could be a really decent place if they cleaned up more, or maybe it's a hovel that they've just cleaned. So it's kind of in that weird in between place, much like a Motel 6 on a dirt road.
Or,
Is this a good
or
place?
lipstick on a pig, for example?
Or lipstick on a pig. Hey-oh. So, yeah, kind of hard to tell. If you really want to know, give me a knowledge roll. If you really want to know.
I don't think he cares that much enough to sort of deliberate. I think it's just like, please be nice. He wants a nice place on the road. It's so difficult. He wants a comfy bed and somewhere that doesn't smell.
All right. Easy day. So you all go to the Smiling Pig. I would assume you open the doors, and it is a relatively live place. There's a lot of merriment and drinking to be found here.
Can Roy fit?
Could our buddy Roy fit? You know what? We're going to say that he can. However, his head is in the rafters. So if he's not careful, he's always bumping his head. And you know what I'll do for our buddy here? I'm going to give him a finesse roll to see if he's able to.
Just oops.
Well, good news. We
Oops.
made it inside. Bad news. Roy wrecked the whole place, and we need to leave immediately.
Actually, our buddy here got a success with hope. He got 11 hope, 10 fear. That's 21. Despite having a 0 in success, that is a success with hope. So our buddy Roy is just bobbing up and down, just right with the flow. He's been to a couple of small establishments. He knows the deal. And he's got 3 eyes. So who knows if you could see up there, his eyes are just looking all up in different directions. So yeah, he's good.
Yeah, and I think that Maximilian pays extra attention to Roy on his way in for 2 reasons. 1, he doesn't want Roy to make a mess and have to deal with that. 2, he actually kind of cares about Roy. Roy's like he's a friend, and he likes to look after him.
Yeah, Roy's a friend, and you should care about your friends. Viewers at home, care about your friends. So, you venture the Smiling Pig, a bunch of merriment. There is an individual behind the counter, behind the bar. More than likely, patron of the Smiling Pig.
Maximilian will, by default, approach unless, at any point, Mark, if you want Percival to do it instead, just do it. I just think that talking's probably what the wordsmith tends to do a lot, right? So he'll eagerly jumping in there. Good day, patron.
He snorts a little bit. You get a good look at him, and this is a pigman, a man and a pig. So he snorts a little bit. I'm Ron Hogfoot, patron of the Smiling Pig.
I understand the name then. You said Hogfoot.
Yes, Hogfoot, you understand the name. Because I'm a pigman. Swaneborn, if you will.
Yes, well, that's more just that I understand the Smiling Pig. Anyways, if you could, good sir, we're just looking for 2 rooms and whatever you might be able to fit our friend Roy in. Perhaps you have a warehouse or a bigger room. He kind of motions to the giant.
He looks up at the giant. On your character sheets, there's a button that says duality roll. This is just like a custom roll. So let me get that from you to see if he has room for our buddy Roy. So it'll just roll. Well, actually, you can just roll your 2d12s because you're rolling physically, right, Bob?
It was, but I just used a duality roll, and it rolled a 4 and a 4.
Oh,
A 4 and a 4?
That's an 8.
Huh? That's an 8 total, but it is a critical success. Yes, he got the same thing on both die, so it is a critical success. Congratulations. So this is a big win plus a bonus narrative effect. Okay. He looks over at Roy 3 Eyes and he says, "Yep, Giantkin, we've had him before. All right, Vic. All right. I've got a room for your big guy. You'll all have to share so you'll be in the same room together. But I've got a room big enough for him."
Very good, yes. And when he hears he has to share with them, there's some inner lamenting, but it's better than Roy not having a spot of his own. So,
yeah. But he says, we've got a game happening later on tonight. You boys know about grub fights?
Fights. Now that sounds cool.
I think Maximilian doesn't respond. He's just like, no, I haven't heard of such things.
Right. Snow worms. These are worms that, are particularly in snowy places. Snow worms, they're all worm and teeth. And so you get the snow worms and they fight it out. All right. and, we bet on them. Depending on the clientele, it's a winner-takes-all event. If you boys are going to be in town for a little while, you might as well check it out. Maybe take a
Yeah, that'd
bet
be
or
great.
buy a worm even.
Max, can we get a worm? I want a worm.
He'll kind of walk over closer to Percival, and he says, I don't have much money left, friend. It's a handful of coins. I think they could
How
go
much would one
to
cost?
better use, perhaps.
We'll see.
Percival, your large friend says, you've got my handful of coins and I'm a giant. So technically that would mean my handful is bigger. Maybe we can bet my handful and buy a worm if we win. I'd like a little worm, pal.
Yeah, we'll look right into that. That's a good idea.
He looks very worried for some reason.
Well, I'll trust you with this, Percival, even though I don't think I should.
So the Hogfoot, the owner of the bar, pipes up. Anyway, fellas, it's going to be a handful of gold to stay for the night. But don't worry, I'll put your handful as leverage for a bet on one of the worms. If you win, you get 2 handfuls. If you lose, well, you don't get the handful of gold. That's what it means to be a loser. I have a great worm.
Percival will be
Nice and
broke.
trusted.
We'll be broke if we lose this.
We're not gonna lose. What are the chances of that happening?
Right. Well then, he's I think there's like a montage of all the times he's went against his better judgment and it's not worked out in his head.
Yeah. It's Percival over and over again. What's the worst that could happen? And then it cuts to the worst possible scenario.
Cuts of the building on fire or running out in the middle of the night. Yeah. And he's like, he sighs as he hands over the coins.
Bad haircuts and just like a variance of bad situations. But yes, you hand over the coins. Hogfoot takes them in his hoops, I suppose. But yes, he grabs the handful of coins in his hoops and he puts them under. Right. So the grab fight will be soon. I'm going to put your money, your handful, on Frog Smasher. All right. Frog Smasher he's a tough one. Okay. He's a tough one. Don't worry.
Of course. Why would I worry? Nothing to worry about. This should be fine. It always works out fine.
Okay. So yes, he gives you the key to your room. And from there, you all have your run of the bar. So if you want to interact with a few of the patrons, you can do that. You have that option. If you want to progress forward to the grub fight, you can do that too. If you just want to say, okay, let's go right to the grub fights.
I think Maximilian probably won't mingle much. But I think it'd be interesting to watch the camera shift to Percival, who might be more at home in a pub than Maximilian is. Just throw it out there for you, Mark.
I think so. I think Percival's just having like a good time. He's having a few drinks. He's laughing with the patrons. He's getting people to buy drinks for him because he doesn't have any money at the moment. Because he just bet
Okay.
everything on a snow worm fight.
No. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, we'll say that's exactly what happens. That's kind of the feel of it. Let me get a instinct roll from both of you.
Instinct.
Plus
Oh.
0.
Yep.
All right. I can see this one's our weakness already because I too will have a +0.
Ooh, 9 with hope.
A total of 9?
Total is 9 with hope.
Oh.
Total of 11 with fear.
Okay. So that's a total of 11 with fear. Okay. So you, Mark, you failed this roll. The die that I was looking for was a 10, but you got a 9 with hope, so you don't complicate anything, but you just don't see what's going on. Bob, you were successful. So, but you had fear, right, Bob? That was a success with fear.
Correct. Yeah, correct. I got a 1 and a 10, 10 on the fear die.
Okay. Easy day. So you notice coming through the door, all right, the big guy, the gate guards, right? So the small Weasley guy, the big guy, and then there's another individual with an eye patch. Here's the complication. You notice them and they notice you. And the big one says, "There they are, boss."
I think we are in trouble already, Bruce. This is,
Oh,
I'll do my best to quell this. Gentlemen, good to see you again. You must be the boss they were referring to.
While this is happening, Percival's gonna hide.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. You're hiding. So that's going to be a finesse roll to see how well you hide. Or if you fail, you'll probably be behind a pillar or something, just looking.
Yeah. Can I use cat-like reflexes?
I don't think so. Not for this.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
yeah, not for this. Yeah, this is just hiding.
So, just a +2 then. Oh, shit. Both my dice rolled into the ground. Fantastic.
Uh,
And you slip a disc in your back and you're out.
Batman. Yep, I'm done. That's a 13 with fear.
a 13 with fear. Okay. So that's a successful roll, but it is a complication in there for you. So we'll address that in a moment. However, Maximilian, you have accepted both of these individuals to your table. Well, all three of them, rather. The Weasley man steps up first. He pulls a chair out. The larger one steps out of the way. And the individual with the eye patch sits down. He's a grizzled old man. There, in your mind, just picture the most grizzled individual that you've ever met, and then give them muscles. This is the individual sitting in front of you.
I think in here too, since it's like less light, just because I had to remember the Etheris a little bit, they can have their wings grow and hide at kind of will, it sounds like. They can conjure them.
Okay.
And I think there's a card ability that allows me to do that. But they do have a glowing aura, and I think that's more present here now that we're not in the middle of like the outside where light, the daylight might make that hard to see. It's a little more visible on him. Probably stand out.
Okay. Let's see. So are you doing this is this just a natural effect, or are you kind of trying to heighten this ability?
It's a natural effect. I thought I would just raise it. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So just a natural effect. You're sitting down there glowing. The grizzled individual in front of you says, "I am second shift captain assistant Tarlock. My underguards have explained to me that you paid to enter our city with this." And he pulls out the stone.
Oh, yes, that is correct.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Maximilian Deschamps III.
Mr. Deschamps, what is this that I'm holding in front of you right now? Can you tell me what this is?
Well, I would need my appraiser to speak to that.
An appraiser.
Yes, I bring one with me, and it's always good to know when you're traveling with goods what the value is of most things so that you're not scammed.
I see. Well, I'll wait for your appraiser. I'm very interested to see what he or she has to say about this interesting stone.
Very good. Very good. He would give it a minute, knowing that Percival can probably hear all this. And that is probably a lie. He's not terribly good at that, just so you know. Well, yeah, he's got presence, so he's actually not bad. And he has golden as an experience. But he's going to wait a minute. Probably this isn't the first time Percival has... I feel like they're inadvertent con artists. That's what this whole arc's starting to feel like a little bit. So it's probably not the first time they've had to get out of this kind of trouble. He's going to buy Percival a minute after he mentions this whole gig with the appraiser before he then says, Percival?
Well, hold on. Because Mark got a success with a complication.
Ooh, fine.
Oh, okay.
And here's your complication. You're hiding, and a quite beautiful cat lady taps you on the shoulder. So from your perspective to the group, you're hiding from them, but the cat lady taps you on the shoulder. Don't you want to buy us a drink? She says to you.
Oh, no, I'm a little busy right now.
It looks like you're busy hiding behind this pillar here.
Yeah, hold on one moment. And he's going to cast a spell.
Ooh. Okay.
He's going to activate Uncanny Disguise.
Okay.
When you have a few minutes to prepare, you can mark a stress to adorn the facade of any humanoid you can picture clearly in your mind. While disguised, you have advantage on presence rolls to avoid scrutiny. Place a number of tokens onto this special spell card, trait card. When you take an action while disguised, spend a token from the card. After the action spends to the last token is resolved, the disguise drops.
How many
Disguise
tokens
drops.
do you get? How many tokens? Did you say how many tokens you get?
I get 2. So for 2 actions, I can keep this.
Okay. Easy day. What form would you like to take?
He takes the form of a human with a scruffy beard of a similar color, maybe an eyepiece, and essentially he's going to look like a jeweler.
Oh, I see. Let me roll a quick duality roll to see how she reacts to this. Okay, cool. That is a hope. Yep, success with fear. She doesn't freak out. Well, success with hope, rather. She doesn't freak out. She just says, oh, I'll see you later, Mr. Jeweler. And she walks off. Yes, you are now the jeweler.
And he will step out from his hiding place.
Oh, there he is right here. Very good.
Are you the appraiser?
I, Jay the jeweler, yes. So he kind of adjusts his eyepiece. My services have been called, have they, Lord Maxie?
F. Yes, Maximilian, but yes. If you could kindly... They were inquiring about the rock, this beautiful rock that we paid entry with. They wanted to know more about it.
Let me take a look at it. Yes.
It's quite interesting you
Sure.
call it a rock, because to my one eye, it looks like just a green rock. I'm very interested to know what your jeweler has to say.
Well, this is why I'm not in the jeweler business.
This is what the layman calls the stone emerald, or the Estonius emeralius. It's quite a valuable piece. You see, to the untrained eye, it appears to be a piece of gravel. But you see, for those who know what to look out for,
He kind of like points over to something, but he like puts his finger on it so it's kind of hard to see what it is and goes,
these markings right here show the true nature of the stone. Quite valuable, extremely valuable, if I might say. Paid a pretty penny for it.
Oh,
Pretty penny.
you know, out of all the times we've worked together, you choose now to have me give away something so important without telling me the value of it. Here, I'll take the rock back. He's going to try and take the rock back, and he's got the little coin purse And he's like, it's fine. You wanted a handful of coins. There's no reason. And I can make sure that this goes to good use. And there are plenty of nobles that I interact with that would prefer such a thing.
Okay. I want to establish, from your perspective, Percival, are you attempting to fool this man, correct?
Yeah, we're trying to fool him.
Right. And I just want to make
Yeah.
sure you're doing the same thing. Is that correct, Bob? You're trying to fool him too? Or do
Yeah.
you want the...
No, I don't think he's fooled me there. I think he knows enough about Percival. He's kind of trying to almost like all in on this and say, oh no, you know what? Like, why are we giving up such an important thing rather than a bag of coins? So he's like, maybe we just bluff with the coins and see how this pays out.
Okay, no problem. Can I get a presence roll with advantage from you, Mark?
Right. Would I get my extra advantage to avoid scrutiny? For my
Yes.
uncanny disguise?
So in this situation, I wonder, would you get double advantage or... is that how it
You
works?
essentially, you just get 2 extra d6.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. 2 extra d6.
There were a couple of things on my sheet I just read through again. I'm like, oh, that would have been, should have had those present.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just while Mark's
See.
rolling, I'll make a note. I have Highborn, which gives me, it's called privilege. You have advantage on rolls to consort with nobles, negotiate prices, or leverage your reputation to get what you want. And then he's also got, or was it? There was one other, not important for now.
Okay.
Okay,
Good
so
to go.
that is 19 on fear.
Ooh, 19 on fear. So that is a success. You fool them, but with a narrative complication. All right. He snatches the stone from you all. Yeah. This will be very good. My men will be back here tomorrow, and you're going to take them to where you found this stone. You'll bring more of them too. I have need of it.
Well, that's a very kind offer of yours, but we do have matters with the guild to look after. Once we've delivered what we need to here, we must move forward, you see.
Yes, yes. It's strange you use the word offer when I wasn't making an offer. This was a demand, an order even. As the second assistant captain, it is within my purview to conscript anyone in this city. And I believe you all are conscripted. Now, I would assume you have accommodations here. You can stay at your accommodations here, or you can come to the barracks. This was an offer.
I think we're perfectly good here, though I won't speak for my appraiser.
But I think I'm much better off staying here. Not one for bruises or harsh life.
Very good then. So, my men will be here tomorrow morning at sunrise to collect you to go to where you found this stone. Be seeing you, and just so you know, I have my eye on you. But he points to the one with the iPad. He points to that one. Oh, crap. Yes, I have my eye on
Yeah, of course, yes. Well, I'll have you know that we are quite boring, really.
Yes,
don't need you to be
Lord
interesting.
Maxie here is extremely dull.
you. Yes. Very well.
I've made entire groups fall asleep from my stories. It's true.
I just need you to be profitable. Maxie, are you drinking anything? I would assume you've gotten some ale. Do you have
Wine,
a mug?
if he has, or anything.
Why?
the weakest alcohol, or not weakest, I'm not talking about the alcohol content, but not something gruff. The finest taste they have.
The finest taste. So you're an IPA man. What do we say? Maxie likes IPAs?
I think he's at best a pale ale, man. Yeah.
It's a rosé.
A
So-
rosé,
Yeah.
a
Sweet.
sangria.
Yeah. They have ice wine here. That would be wonderful.
Yes. You know what? We'll say that. They have a fine ice wine. You've had one sip. Torvald takes the wine glass with him. Thank you for your donation to the city god's pension. And he begins to leave.
What did he take? Just making sure I caught that.
He took your ice wine. Yes, he's taking it with him.
He'll wait a minute before they exit or after they exit, and he'll look to Pretzel and say, I don't want to stick around very long. We should unload our goods and deal with the rest of this.
I don't either. I have a feeling things are going to become a lot more complicated for us, dear Lord Maxie.
Roy will appear, a large sandwich in his hands. Do we have another job then?
Officially, we've been conscripted.
Oh. Mother always said I look good in a uniform.
Indeed.
So we're escaping in the morning then? That's the plan? We're going to escape in the morning, of course, right? I don't want to wear a uniform, Maxie.
As usual.
I was thinking that perhaps we would go along with the ruse far enough to bring those men with us, and then we could perhaps find out a bit more about just why things are so corrupt around here.
Maxie wants to play
Heroes.
hero again. As
Heroes.
the illusion fades around him.
Every time you do that, Roy just he just kind of reacts to it like that.
It's like wet paint. It's certainly not.
Roy, we're going to need your fists tomorrow, very likely.
Yeah. Then you'll have them. He kind of bangs his fist together, smashing the sandwich, and he looks very sad.
Oh, Roy. I'm terribly sorry. Did they make that here? Where did they find such big bread?
Where'd you get that sandwich from?
Sandwich guy?
In the corner, there's a sandwich. It's big.
Just a guy with sandwiches just waving like, hello.
A sign says the sandwich guy. It's his business.
You've heard of
Travel
Five Guys.
sandwich man.
We've got sandwich man. Sandwich guys.
Sandwich guys.
All right. I think here is a good time for a break. So let's take 5.
All right. We'll see you all back very soon as we continue this adventure. And away we go. We are
All right.
back.
And we are. Sorry about that. We're back. Cool. So we're going to hop right back in it. So the night passes on. Hogfoot, he goes to the center of the establishment and he bellows, I know what you're all here for. Grub fights! And the bar erupts in joyous laughter and cheers. Patrons begin moving tables and chairs out of the way. A large open space is created in the middle of the bar. And then Hogfoot pulls on chains, and the floor where this open space was made starts to retract. It starts to move away, showing a very shallow pit of snow. He pulls on another chain, and it releases into the center of the chain into the center of the pit something. burrowing under the snow. I would assume you're all looking.
Very much. We got money on this.
Neat. And there it is, our champion, Frog Smasher! And like a trained professional, a smallish, let's say, to the eye, 6 foot by the by, a small 6-foot snow worm erupts out of the middle of the pit. And as most worms do, it lets out a great shriek. This thing is nothing but worm and teeth, spiny teeth. And then it dives back into the snow.
How big?
About 6 feet long, let's say half a foot wide. So pretty big. You do notice that there are individuals with spears on the side of the ring. One would assume that if a worm gets a little bit, starts thinking above his station, dreaming of freedom, the guys with the spears are there to kind of motivate it to go back into the pit.
What a grotesque figure.
All right. So, next, Hogfoot goes to another chain. The first challenger of the night, Cat Stealer. And the half of the bar erupts in cheers as he pulls on the chain, and another burrowing track appears. Not as alive as Frog Smasher's burrow track, but it's just going around in circles around the edge of the pit. Everyone's watching in silence.
I think Maximilian leans in because, silence isn't something he's very good with. So he leans into Percival and he's like, which one did we bet on again?
Frog Smasher.
Right.
Cool one.
Okay. We're going to do opposing duality rolls. Who wants to roll for their worm?
All right, I'll roll.
All right, cool.
It's wormed.
So, yep. We're just seeing who has the higher roll. Okay.
Let's go. Ooh. That is a 21 with fear.
Oh, man. I get a 20 with fear. So you have the higher roll. We both get fear. Let's say in this case, the fear count. Well, you get the higher roll, and we both get fear. Let's say the fear kind of cancels out. The worms erupt from the center of the pit, and they smash against each other like a walrus or an elk. All right. And they dive back into the pit. Your worm, though, seemed a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster. Trained professional. This is a grub fight champion. All right. We're going to do another round. We'll see who has the higher roll. You rolling again, Mark, or Bob? You want to take it?
Have Mark roll it. This is his moment.
All
Okay.
Let's go. Grub fight.
Grub fights.
Oh, that was a 13.
A 13. I rolled an 11.
Oh.
Did you have? Oh, we both had
Yay.
hope. So yeah, that's another victory for Frog Smasher. They erupt from the center of the. They erupt from the center of the pit, and Frog Smasher takes a small chunk out of Cat Stealer. What is it doing? Death by 1,000 cuts. Okay, let's get our final roll. All right, you've got 2 successes, so unless you do really bad on this one, it's true to
Really fuck this one up.
unless you really mess this one up, or I do really.
Oh, that's possible. That's a 9.
Ah, I got a 12. Did you have hope or fear?
Hope.
Okay, I got a 12 with hope. So just a couple points higher than you, but you did get 2 successes. So at this point, the worms erupt from the center of the pit. But rather than glancing blows, they're both going for blood. They entangle themselves. They're biting, and this is pure carnage. The snow is red. How are they going to clean the snow? One worm remains. Now, you did have 2 successes. So, Frog Smasher is victorious. He's bloodied. He's not looking good. Cat Stealer isn't moving. It lets out a shriek, a worm shriek of triumph and defiance.
Are you not entertained?
I think
Yes.
Maximilian starts to chant, "Frog Smasher, Frog Smasher, Frog."
Frogs, butter, frogs, butter.
Okay.
Can I use rally?
Oh, okay. Can you explain to the group what rally does?
At level 1, your rally die is a d6. A PC can spend a rally die to roll it, adding the result to their action roll, reaction roll, damage roll. Oh, is that just for me? Never mind then. It says rally the party. That's why it was.
You know what? I'm not going to let you use rally, but give me a presence roll. Very low difficulty die. This is your thing. More. Words your thing.
Oh no, it is. It is, by the way, to your party. It's not technically our party, but yeah, let's do the presence roll. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
Oh shit. 12 with fear.
12 with fear. Okay. So, success with a complication. Frog Smasher wins. Individuals around the bar, the patrons of the bar, they start cheering. They're happy. Frog Smasher! But, you know what? A young man, a boy even, he lets out a scream, "Cat Stealer, no!" His cap is turned to the back. He wears a red cap. And he's on his hands and knees. He's very sad about this. That's your complication. You're rubbing it in the face of this grub fight trainer.
Yeah, suck it, kid. Bit better next time.
His name's Rash, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Rash, yeah.
I think we are successful though.
Yes, you are successful. You can find Hogfoot if you want to clear out your bets, if you want to cash out, or you can
Get our money.
or you can bet on Frog Smasher again to win. He is a champion, but he's looking a little bloody. I don't know.
I don't think he'd feel particularly good about wrecking this boy's day. Is that like a stress or something? Do I need to take like a stress point for that?
If he doesn't feel good about that, let's say he takes a stress. You made this boy really sad.
Yeah.
Grub fight trainer, out in the world on his own.
Broke this kid's dreams.
Really?
He's gonna be the best, like no one ever was.
Like no one ever was.
No one ever was. Exactly. Yeah. There are tears. He's obviously crying. One of the bar guys says, "Who let this kid in?" They start to carry him out.
I think he'll intervene.
You'll intervene.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you want to intervene?
I think he'll try to halt them. "Excuse me, sirs. Excuse me. This boy is, in fact, a premier grub trainer. It would be very impolite of you to throw him out."
Premier grub trainer. Let's get a presence roll from you. See if you can charm him real quick. We'll say that Roy's behind you, just nodding, like, "Yep," and give you advantage.
At 10, advantage? Okay.
Yeah, we'll give you advantage on that.
See. Okay, make that a 15 with fear.
A 15 with what?
Fear.
Okay. So 15 with fear, that's a success, but there's a further complication. So they kind of take their hands off the kid. He straightens up his little jacket, fur lined, of course, because it's very cold here. He looks at you and spits on your boots. "I don't need your charity."
Cool. You could learn some manners. That was gross.
"And you could learn to be a proper winner. I saw you start that chant. Cat Stealer was my friend. Worms are more than just worms. They're friends, too. And he goes into a long diatribe about like the power of friendship and all that stuff.
You know, perhaps you're right. To be honest with you, we were kind of pressured to participate in this whole betting thing. If it wasn't for the fact that we were go broke if we didn't win, I would have never gotten involved.
The child looks at you for a moment. He shakes his head and he goes to collect his worm. The worm isn't dead, but it's a little broken, it's a little beaten. It's going to need to go to some sort of worm center, if they have one. But he collects his worm, he puts it into a cage. It seems to be well trained. It just lives kind of in there. And he leaves.
I think for Maximilian, he doesn't add much more. He just sort of frowns. But there's a realization this boy has learned a lesson today about how tough life is. And yeah, he, like a bad television sitcom, he gives a firm nod and a smile as the boy walks off.
There's just a twinkle in the boy's like picture appears on the screen, just like imposed. But yeah, and do you all have any other plans for the night? From what you're saying, you're not betting on the worm. You still have your now handfuls of gold. So you have to cash out, of course. Hogfoot is they're greedily gathering handfuls of gold into a bag, a sack. Yes, you lost. Yes, I know. Cat Stealer was a dear friend of everyone's. But yes, okay. So you can go and collect your gold if you all want to retire for the night.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't think anything Maximilian would want to do. What about for Percival? Is there anything you want to do for the night?
Okay. Percival, you got anything?
No, Percival's pretty chill. He's happy with his win, so he's like, yeah. And he's gonna use some of the money gained to buy Frog Smasher.
To buy Frog Smasher. Okay. Let's do that interaction really quick with Hogfoot. All right. So you have this. He's in front of the sack. You're collecting your gold, and what do you say to him?
I would like to buy this one's freedom.
Ah. Rubs his chin, as a dwarf would do if the dwarf had a beard, or even a beardless dwarf would. Okay. Let me get a presence roll from you. See how well you do. He is broke.
He has earned his freedom.
He's earned his freedom. Kind of good for the narrative. Frog Smashers. Good for what he's going. Kayfabe. Frog Smashers.
That's a 9 plus 1. That's a 10 with fear.
A 10 with fear. Oh, I was looking for a 12. All right. So you don't get what you want, and there's a complication. He looks at you. That worm is a champion, right? That worm's gonna fight until he proves something to himself or to the rest of us. He's kind of making a show of it. How dare you besmirch this worm's reputation? Besmirch Frog Smasher! And everyone around starts
He should be
cheering
free
and
to live
whatnot.
his life.
Can Maximilian intervene?
Yeah, if you see this happening, so on the way to your very big room, you can intervene. Yes.
And if it looks like it's not going well for Percival, I think Maximilian will come over and he kind of stands up straight. If I might be so bold as to suggest, these worms here, they last what? A handful of years, maybe 2, with such a rugged life, the training, the investment.
4 months.
4 months, yes. Right. I totally knew that. You see, I'm a bit of a trainer myself, you see. But,
Oh.
and locking this one away here for what, a few more months, And then all his value is gone. And he'll be left with nothing. Nothing but an aged worm. Now, if you were to consider my dear friend's price, you could perhaps invest more into the business of hosting such things. Perhaps you buy new young wormlings and arrange to trade the old for the potential of the new.
You make a good point. Let me get a presence roll from you. I'm not going to give you advantage, but I'm also not going to give you disadvantage because of his failure. So it's just your presence. You're making a good point.
Could I propose privilege, which gives me advantage on rolls to consort with nobles, negotiate prices, or leverage your reputation to get what you want?
You know what? Yes, I think, yes, you can use privilege. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, that's just a plus
privilege.
2. Okay. And 10, right? 13, 14, 15 with fear.
15 with fear. Okay, so that's success with the net. Oh,
I did that wrong. No, I didn't. I did that right. Never mind.
okay, so that is success with a complication. He rubs his hoops together. Yeah, so old for the new. I'll tell you what. I'll give you this worm for 1 handful of gold. Nothing gained and nothing lost. Say there, Maxie.
Maximilian's fine, sir.
Yeah, that's nice.
You drive a tough
Frog
bargain.
smashing. Oh, sorry.
You drive a tough bargain, but very well.
Okay. He hands you all the one handful of gold, and he says, "Be silent. This worm has earned his freedom after 3 months of fighting in the grub pits. And now it goes off to chase after its brother, which sold him to the grub pits, which is the reason why he's fighting." And they're like, yeah. There's some narrative going on here with these grub fights that he's trying to sell, okay?
Sounds really,
You
yeah.
get that feeling.
He's really in the kayfabe of this thing, right?
Yeah, he's in it. Frog Smasher, you are free. And so he looks back to you after everyone's drinking, and he says, "Okay, so here's the cage, and you have to remember to feed it twice a day. Don't feed it after midnight, but you also don't want to feed it before midnight. Does that make sense? Twice a day, not after midnight, but before midnight."
He looks to Percival.
Yeah, I think I get that.
All right, well, he's yours. All right, boys, put him in the cage. Now, Frog Smasher is a feisty worm, and he's struggling. He's fighting. They get him into the cage, but one guy does get it. He gets bit. He's just screaming like, ah, ah. Wilhelm scream. We'll put the Wilhelm scream in post.
Yeah, put it in post.
I think Maximilian will pull out his clipboard, scribble down a note, and hand it to Percival, knowing that he'll absolutely forget the directions of when to feed this thing without,
Yeah. Okay. So, if that's it for the evening, you do retire. Here's my question for you. What is your plan for the next morning?
Maybe we'll go over that in character real quick. The 3 of us here, if we can.
Nice.
My thought is we go out on this mission with our guides, assuming they are no greater in number than our own. We wait till we're far enough away, and we surprise them. We hit them with everything we've got, and once we've subdued them, we find out what exactly is going on here. If we run into any real trouble, then we just keep going.
I think that works. And Frog Smasher here can help.
Yeah, yeah. It's snapping at the side of the cage. It doesn't know love. It's lived for 3 months of carnage and blood sport.
I will call you Maximus.
It just shrieks and whatnot. And maybe it likes the name Maximus. All right. So, the evening passes. Who was you? Who? Let's see. Do I want to make this a roll? Unless you all feel differently, I think that Maximilian wakes up first. What do you guys think about that?
Works.
Just understanding the temperament of the character. He seems like an early riser.
Oh yeah, he's an early riser. He's up doing his Pilates or whatever at noon.
I kind of
or
missed that
at
last part.
I said that he's up doing his Pilates at like the crack of dawn or something ridiculous. Tai Chi, something just like an old man workout is probably the most he ever actually does. But that's when you do
Does he
it.
picture it
Punctual.
like punctual? Is he picturing in his head like a Jean-Claude Van Damme, just like really cool doing it, or is it like does he know he looks like an old man?
I think he's very aware that if he was transferred into this world, he would probably have, he would be like 30 going on 60 as far as the lifestyle is as boring as can be.
Yeah. Okay. That makes perfect sense. All right, Maximilian, let me get a instinct roll from you.
13 with hope.
13 with hope. Okay. That's success with hope because they're not being quiet. I want them alive. How dare they trick me? It's a friggin' rock. You hear someone screaming. Well, sir, specifically, the rock was found 3 towns ago, from my recollections. Damn it! Got a jeweler. There's the reason that Vault got his own jeweler to look at the stone, and he knows that it's just a rock.
Yeah, I think at that point he's like, Percival, both of you, Roy, we gotta go. They know. The ruse is up. They know what the rock is. They know it's fake.
Let's go. Come on, Maximus.
There's no. The worm shrieks. It's been shrieking all night. They're very loud creatures. Roy looks, this is pretty quick. They know last town over, at least we got 2 days, he says.
It's the bracelets. I thought this was a better one than that. It appears not.
Yep. Well, I guess I'll go grab the cart and start dragging it out as around back. It looks like we're in a chase. We are going to demonstrate before we go further, the chase mechanics. All right, so chase is a little bit different in Daggerheart than other games that you might play. So we're establishing who's chasing whom. So you all are being chased by corrupt members of the city guard. Your objective, I would assume, is to escape.
That sounds about right at this point.
Okay, so essentially, it's all about roles, like almost like any other game. So you all are going to pick out your skills and say how that skill helps you rolling against the town guards. Chases in Daggerheart are done in segments. Depending on the length of the chase, it can go from anywhere to 3 to insert number here amount of segments. All right. So you all have to escape. So think about your abilities, and then we're not going to roll initiative. Okay. I'm going to spend 1 fear, and by me as a GM spending fear, the guards are going to go first. So they're going to, we'll say this, they'll rush into the downstairs. You all are on the 2nd floor, but they're in the downstairs of the establishment. There is an exit. There's about 2 exits, fire code. So there is an exit away from the main bar floor, but they are inside the bar. Let me mark down the 1 sphere I spent. I don't have a lot of those. So with that being said, up to you all. What are you all doing to escape?
I'll start with Mark, maybe.
Percival is going to use. There we go. Actually, no, I'll hang on to this. However, he's going to essentially using his abilities as a rogue, don a dark cloak that kind of comes up with a hood, and he's going to try and sneak through the shadows.
Okay.
Probably starting off by jumping out the window of the
Okay,
place they're
so
in, and then skulking into the night.
is there a role associated with that? Or is it, or
It'd
does
be a
it just
hide,
say,
I suppose.
yeah, okay, let's get a hide. Let's see if they notice you as you're coming out as they're going in.
Oh, that's a 12 on fear.
So 12 total with fear?
Yep.
Okay. You are successful getting out of the window, but you're kind of loud about it.
I'll also note I have a rogue ability, which is anytime I would be hidden, I'm cloaked.
Cloaked.
Specifically, in addition to the benefits of the hidden condition, while cloaked, you remain unseen if you are stationary while an adversary moves to where they would normally see you. After you make an
Okay.
attack or end a move, line of sight of adversary, you are no longer cloaked.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. So you go out the window. They hear this. There's a commotion upstairs, boss. You know, much like Batman, you're going out of the window.
It's the
I'm
cat.
going to the Catman, right?
Catman.
Yeah. Are you going out the front window or the back window? Let's say you have, because you're in a large room, right? So let's say you have
Back
two
window.
windows. You got to show back window. Okay,
Yep.
good choice. So you go out of the back window. Roy looks down to you, Maxie. Says, "You should probably go before me there, boss."
Right. How are you going to get out of here?
Oh, I'm gonna smash through the window.
Oh, okay. Very good. So let me just see what I need to do this. Take stress. So I'm going to take a stress, and as Maximilian steps towards the window out from, like, he'll actually perch in the window. And then as he sort of leans out from the back of his shirt, sprouts two wings that end up turning almost like angelic wings, like Angel from X-Men, if you want to put it that way, right? They
Okay.
sprout out, and then he takes flight. So it's cost me 1 stress. And I call forth divine wings while flying. I'm just trying to see if there's any duration on it. It doesn't look like it. I get advantage rolls on command or intimidate to a target, but that's not what I'm doing there.
Okay. No problem. No problem. Good to know. So I would assume there's no role associated with sprouting your wings. So
I just
perch
eat
in
a
the window.
stress.
Yep. You just eat the stress. You perch in the window. You eat your stress, and your angelic wings flow from behind you, and you fly. I was gonna say flutter, but they're not butterfly wings. But you fly out into the sky. You hear Roy from behind you. Every time it looks so beautiful. And then he smashes through the window, like the giant that he is. I'm gonna roll strength for him. Let's see. So hit point. He doesn't have anything that gives him. There's nothing. Primary melee weapon. Now he's just gonna roll the strength. Okay, 16 with hope. Yep. So he just smashes through the window. They're going to have to get somebody to come and fix that. But Roy smashes through the window and loudly. We'll say that he doesn't make a thump, because that was a success with hope. He doesn't make a loud thump. There's a loud crash upstairs, but there's no thump. You all are outside, successfully outside. So we're going to say we're in segment 2. Okay. You know what? I'm not going to spend fear, so I can go. So I can go first in this segment. I'll let you all go first.
We'll start with Mark.
Okay.
So, what's the scene? What's going on? What's the
No
currently
problem.
running?
So currently you're cloaked. You've landed outside. Roy has landed behind you, and in the air is Maximilian. To your knowledge, the guards, the Krupp guards, are still inside of the bar. So they haven't exited the bar yet. You all are behind the bar, and within sight is your cart with the package you are meant to deliver.
He's gonna make his way over to the carriage, along with Roy, and is going to essentially jump on top of it, live like a cat, and keep an eye around to see if any of them are attempting to follow them. He's basically gonna play lookout.
Okay, plain lookout. I'm not gonna have you roll for that. That's pretty easy. There's nothing, cat-like reflexes. You can jump right up there. Easy day. Okay, Bob, what are you doing?
I think for now, he's just gonna. I think he's going to stay over the top of this thing for now. Because they're. Am I cutting out? You looking at me like I'm cutting out
A little bit. Yeah, you cut out a little bit. Yeah.
the damn thing? Well, we'll have to hope that's better. If I can do, I'll get someone in chat if one of you wants to confirm whether or not I'm cutting out in the game as well. But I'm going to assume I'm not. So we'll assume that this is just Discord for me. I think quite simply, Maximilian's just going to stay in kind of an erratic flying pattern, but he's going to stick close enough to this thing so he has eyes on the ground. He wants to make sure Roy, and he presumes Percy's going to be able to handle himself, but he wants to make sure Roy is well looked after. Like he's worried about Roy having to get this caravan out of here.
Okay. Easy day. So really simple. Not gonna have you roll for that. And then Roy is going to run over and grab the cart. You know what? I'm going to have Roy make a roll to ensure that he kind of secures the cart to himself because he's been pulling this thing like a mule. So I'm going to have him roll finesse to see if he can successfully get kind of hooked up in there. Anybody going to help him? Going to help our buddy Roy?
Yeah, Percival will definitely help him.
Okay, no problem. Let's get a roll. Give him advantage. Okay, cool. 18 with hope successfully. So he tied himself up successfully, and he begins to run out of there towards the exit. Now, we'll do this for the guards. I'll roll a quick duality to see if they notice where you're going. Maybe there's a number of guards on the inside. Maybe one of them's looking out the window. Okay, success with hope. So yeah, one of them says, "They're outside, boss. The giant, get the giant." And Roy says, "Why is it always me?" But yes, all right. So you're still ahead of them. I'm going to say that you all are moving now. So we're transitioning to the streets. All right. So essentially, you have to dive around morning goers to their jobs and things along those lines. I'm not. Yeah, I'll let you all go first and clear a path for my guards. Something does happen at the beginning of this segment. There are a number of carts in front of you. How would you all like to deal with this complication?
I think, Mark, unless you got a better idea, I think Maximilian could actually, like, what do you call that? Buzz him. Like, he's going to swoop down real fast and just yell, "Get out of the way!" and just try to get everyone to, like, panic almost and get out of the way of him so that if he can clear a way down the middle, then they can follow.
Okay. Kind of like a strafing around. Okay, easy day.
Yeah.
You had that ability that gave you an advantage to commanding, right?
Yeah, that just comes automatically with the Divine Wings. Advantage roll to command or intimidate a target. A target,
Okay,
though. So
a single target. So yeah, there is one cart in particular that is in your way. Let's say this guy has a snow cabbages, finest of snow cabbages on his cart. So this is the guy you're going for. You're commanding him to get out of the way. Let me get a presence roll from you.
sure. The presence 2, and then I've got advantage on this.
Yes, sir.
So 16 with fear.
Okay. Success with fear. All right. He sees you and what's too early for this? He doesn't take the cart, but he runs away. So the human's out of the way, but the cart is in fact still there. So the life has been spared, but you've got to do something about that cart. All right. Percival, would you like to go?
Yes, Percival will. Okay, I think he's going to essentially take out one of his blades, and he's going to try and look at one of the wheels of the cart. And he's
The
going to attempt
wheels.
to, like, jump of the cart that's blocking the way.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And he's going to jump forward, and he's going to attempt to... Yeah. Attempt to essentially cut one of the wheels to kind of ruin the balance of it a little so that it'll be, like, kind of turning. And then he's going to attempt to, like, push it out of the way.
Okay. Easy day. I think this is more of a finesse thing, as I don't have the exact stats of a cart. So let's see.
Control works.
So let's get finesse. See if you can do this. Yeah.
Let's go. All right, that's a 12 with fear.
A 12 with fear. Okay. So you're not really able to do that. And your complication is you fall off, like you fall, essentially. You get out there, you're flipping, you're trying to do something in the air, look a little cool, but you kind of fall. So you are, in fact, on the ground.
This is a story.
Okay. So that's you. All right. Next, we're going to have our buddy Roy go. Roy's got two choices here. He can either pick up Percival or he can just smash through the cart. And Percival's fast. He's dexterous. He's going to keep his eyes on the prize, his 3 eyes. So let's roll strength. Okay. 13 with hope. Oh, yeah, but it's a 9 on the hope die. Yeah. We're going to say he smashes through the cart. It's right in front of him. He goes right through this thing. So the cart, he smashes it out of the way. There are cabbages everywhere. Okay.
Oh, not the cabbages.
Not the cabbages.
My snow cabbages.
There's no cabbages. Okay, so I'm going to roll for the guards. They are chasing after you all. They're going to try and dodge around the cabbages and not fall Three Stooges style. That's their complication. So we'll give them this roll. Okay. That is a failure with hope. So they fail. They fall over, whacky smackety do, right? However, the hope for their part of the narrative is that they yell out, "Get those men! You have a duty to the city!" Right. So that's going to be their success there. Okay. The guards are hot on your trail. You are all a good distance in front of them. Success is within your grasp, right? However, you're making your way down to the port. The lake has frozen over, and there are these large ships. I'm sorry, my dog's making a lot of noise. It's okay. There are large ships on sleds, snow ships, if you will, snowboats, ice boats. So that's the scene. You have to get onto a boat. So let's get the roll. We're gonna whoever would like to start, I'll give you all the spotlight.
I don't think mine's very dramatic yet. So I think let's start with someone who has a harder time getting up there. I will note that the more boring way is I could simply like do the whole angel cyclops thing and just grab him by the hands and help Percival do that. It does allow me to carry one creature of my size or smaller, but I don't think that's that interesting. I'd rather see Percival do some kind of ninja thing to get on board.
Yeah, that may be good. Because Percival,
got
you
one.
have fallen. You're rolling, so you're making your way there, but you got to get up. Let's see what you
Does he roll into a shadow
do. Ooh,
and use
yeah.
Nightwalker? His Nightwalker
Hey,
ability.
is there a roll associated with the Nightwalker ability?
I believe it's finesse. It says spellcast finesse.
Okay, yeah, let's get it.
Nightwalker.
Nightwalker. That's a 12 with fear.
A
Roll
12
fear.
with fear. Okay. That's one of your abilities. We'll say that you roll into the shadow, but your narrative complication is one of the guards sees you do that. The cat can roll into shadows, boys. Watch your shadows. A few of the dumber ones start stabbing at each other's shadows with their spears. So
I
they know
snap
you're in
my
the shadows.
breath, and I
Trust.
then reappear inside another shadow within far range.
Okay.
Would the boat be considered far range, or would it be more than far?
Yeah, the boats within sight is far range, so you can reappear inside of another shadow. The most readily available shadow would be the shipmaster, or who you would assume to be the shipmaster, carrying out orders.
He just kind of appears behind him, and then pretends he's supposed to be there.
Earth. Okay. We'll resolve that here soon. Okay. Bob, what do you got for me?
Okay, so the big thing, like obviously Percival can literally just fly and land on this thing, but or not Percival, Maximilian, sorry. He just fly and land on this thing, but the problem is Roy has a cart that both he and Roy need to get up here somehow, right? So I think maybe mine's less about that and more about preparing some ropes. So maybe as they're getting to the ship, he's going to swoop down onto the deck, like beside some men, and be like, come on, men, we don't have much time. We have new orders. We have to get this last minute cargo on board immediately, ASAP, and the giant who's carrying it.
The giant, I don't know. He's got wings. They seem a little bit unsure. Let me get a presence roll from you.
Once per session, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use rally. So once per session, describe how you rally the party and give yourself, and each your allies a rally die. At level 1, your rally die is a d6. So as he's called for aid, presumably Percival's there. Presumably, they're like...
Roy's within earshot, yeah.
Yeah, and so if you're cool with that, I will use it because we're probably nearing the end of the session. And
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and make the roll. And that is, once again, success with fear.
Success with fear?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, the sailor with the eye patches. Okay, but the captain will hear about this. So, so they do what you want, but he's going to tell on you.
Fair. Yep.
All right. So, for our boy Roy, let's see. He's got to make it there to the ropes that you arranged. Okay. I'm going to have him roll. I'm going to have him roll finesse because he's going down to the docks. There's some stairs. Let's make sure he does this. Ooh, a failure with fear. Rolled an 8 on the fear die, a 9 on hope. Very unfortunate. We're going to say that going over the stairs down to the docks, he beefs it. He beefs it hard. You've seen the skateboard videos. It's pretty bad. So Roy beefs it, and the cart spills over. With this being said, you all know that one box in particular is what your patron wants you to take. You all are aware of that. So you have to deliver a number of things, but there's one box in particular. But here we are. And now we're going to have the guards roll to make sure that they can catch up with you and get down to the docks. All right, duality is roll. They failed with fear. They also beef it. Everyone's beefed it. These
It's a comedy
stairs,
of errors.
just exactly. Literally Three Stooges is all in black and white.
Just
and they're
ice
all
stairs.
pure- just ice stairs, exactly.
Ice.
The stairs are frozen over. This is what maintenance for the city goes towards. So the stairs are frozen over. Everyone has beefed it down the stairs. They're groaning, Peter Griffin style, grabbing their knees and shins. Okay? Okay. The ship captain says, "All right, men, let's get underway." Okay. So the ship is preparing to get underway. You all have first action. How are you going to get Roy in the box on the ship?
I think Maximilian will fly the rope down to Roy, like the ropes that the men are going to heave him up on. And he's gonna tell Roy, hold the box.
Okay. So you fly the rope down to it.
Yeah.
You tell Roy to hold the box.
If you could kindly hold the box, Roy, we're going to need to pull something special here.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Mark, do you want to go?
Yeah, I think he's just gonna like grab the other side of the rope and just gonna be desperately trying to pull it while getting some of the other sailors to help out. Come on, really need this.
Okay. Let me get a presence roll from you if you can get the other sailors into it.
Let's go.
Can I tie, as I've got the rope, can I tie like a foot knot so Roy can like step into the rope and then hold it? Or like wrap himself around it?
I'll let you do it, but I'll need a finesse to make sure you tie the knot properly.
Yeah.
I know something myself about knot.
Right?
Yeah. You mess up that knot, it's
Uh,
going to fall apart.
That's a 9 with fear.
Okay. A 9 with fear is a failure with fear. Bob, what did you get?
Success just barely with fear, though.
Okay. So, Mark, to resolve yours for your 9 with fear, the other group of sailors, they look at you and they says, "You're not supposed to be here." And they
Come
begin to
on.
approach you. They begin to approach you. Bob, you got a success with fear, correct?
Correct. I got a 10.
A
So
10? All right. Ooh, yeah.
actually, then 10 on the die. So it wasn't
Wait.
11. It wasn't 11. Or
Okay,
is
so
it
you got
12? Is it 12 as success?
Yeah, 12 was successful in what I was going for. What total did you get on your die total?
10 total on the die. Do I need a 12 or a 10 for success?
In this case, yes, you need a 12 for success.
12.
Sorry about that.
Okay, that's my mistake. 11. Can I do anything to boost by 1 point? Is there anything like that in this game?
They can give you advantage. So I can say, well, how about this? I'll give you an advantage die because Mark is over there trying to help you. So you can roll a d6 and see if, full on 1.
Yeah. Not that exciting, but I got a 5. So
Okay, no problem. Okay, so that is a success with fear. So you do tie the knot. The knot is tied, but now the other sailors are kind of looking at you, and if they weren't telling the captain before, they're really letting the captain know. They're still helping you though, but they're grumbling. So now the crew is not really on your side. We're gonna say that Roy grabs the box and he goes over to the rope as instructed and climbs onto the rope. Fairly simple. However, he's going to roll strength to see if he can pull himself up. All right. This is for all the marbles. For all the marbles. I'm going to give him advantage because you all are helping. It's very much so a team effort. Ooh. So he got a success, but it is with fear. A success with a complication right now.
he's going to drop the box, isn't he?
He didn't drop the box. No. He pulls himself up. He's on the boat now. You all are on the boat. He presents the box. It has the worm. I got the box. I've got Frog Smasher, he says.
Where's the gift in the box? What's in the box?
Well, there's a worm in this one. I thought you wanted the worm. We couldn't have leave him, he says.
I think Maximilian's gonna jump in the air and leap right out, heading back to the site.
Okay. In this case, you are the complication for the guards. So you are their complication. Because you're going right for the box. You are flying. You are angelic. A few of them are weeping at the sight of you. You know what? I'll roll the duality. I'll give them disadvantage. Let's see. Ooh. That is a failure with fear. They don't find the box, and they're trying to grab at you, but you dodge it. You are the complication. You dodge it. In your hands, you have the box, and you see the ship begin to get underway, or to be, dragged by a large worm-based economy here. But the ship is being dragged by a snow worm into the lake. You have the box, Maximilian, and you're in the air.
Right back to the ship.
Okay. And before we end, standing in front of you, Maximilian lands. Roy's there, just with the little worm. I did it. There is the captain. So, what to do with these stowaways? He says. And we're going to fade to black.
Cyberbro, thanks. I know it's never the easiest thing when you haven't played or GM'd a game to play it. So props to you.
Yeah.
Props to you on that. It's a good time. I like this crew. I'm digging all three characters. It'll be fun to transition. We'll have to figure out. Actually, no, I'll still be a player next time. So that's handy. We're going to go ahead and shift the old GM tag over to Mark for next time so that we're all ready to go there.
All right.
We're doing a GM Roulette. So session 2 is Mark. Session 3 will be me. I'll let you continue there, Cyberbro, if I cut you off at all. Thought I'd just add my thoughts.
No worries. Yeah, the reins are yours again. I thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for letting me do this for you guys. Yeah.
All right. Maybe we'll just do some quick outros and shout outs, and then we'll go ahead and rate some friends. Why don't we start with you, the GM Cyberbro, because you're on the left and that's easiest.
All right. No worries. So, hello, everyone. I'm Cyberbro. Today, I played everyone except for 2 people. Roy Three Eyes in particular. It was fun GMing Daggerheart. So, looking forward to being a player.
Awesome. Any thoughts on how that ran for you? Was it fairly intuitive?
Yeah, I think once I got into the swing of it, it was very intuitive. Not a particularly hard system, just new. So that's one thing I would say, but I think it was intuitive and it was kind of fun. I do like the hope and fear mechanics, so that's pretty good.
Cool. Mark, you're up next.
Hello, I'm Mark, aka The Cat's Meow. You can find me over at The Cat's Meow Show. I run a vampire game that will be running on Thursday at 9:30 p.m. And this here is my art for Percival, the character I was playing today. His name is Dragon, and he is not very happy with me right now.
Don't hold him against his will. How dare you?
I know. But he is just the sweetest, except when he bites my hand. Thank you for joining us. By the way, we have a Discord. If you want to come check us out, you can find the link by putting !Discord into the chat, I believe. Yeah, come join in the fun. Lots of fun things on there, such as shitposting and memes, as well as notifications on whenever we go live, as well as new projects we are in and collaborations we are working on. Thank you for joining us. Check out my channel.
Awesome. I'm going to check in real quick. I think next Saturday we are off, right, gents? It's next Saturday. Yeah. So this one's going to be weird. We wanted to do 3 in a row. What it's going to be is one week break, one week break, one. But it will iron out, I think, to be that it gives it its own sequence. So it shouldn't be too confusing for folks. I'm Bob. I run the channel here. We're expanding. So we're not just doing Pendragon over here. We're going to keep running Saturday series of different games, starting with Daggerheart. This is GM Roulette and Daggerheart. Mark is picking up where Cyberbro left off and running his own story from here. And then I will close it out with the 3rd session. We do a lot of Pendragon here. If you're not familiar with that, it's a game by Chaosium, the same folks who do Call of Cthulhu and Rune Quest, as well as a new Viking game that I forget the name of, Vikings maybe, I don't know. But check that out. Check our stream out. We're here Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday nights. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there. I also do some interviews. You can check that out at our YouTube. Encourage you to do so. We got lots of interviews with creators and game designers. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned while we raid out to some friends, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.
Take care.